Tensions rising prior to the Rolex Australian Grand Prix, never more so than at the Beachcomber Cafe, where the high-profile Motorsport Network party is now heavily underway. I have with me Damien Smith and Anthony Rowlinson from Motorsport Network, F1 Racing, Autosport, Motorsport.com, you name it, it's all here. Damien, first of all, new F1 Racing, beautiful magazine, feels like $1 million.
Yeah, we're very proud of it. So a relaunch ahead of the new season. New dawn for Formula One, new dawn for F1 Racing.
Lovely paper quality and feel to it. This is something we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen it in Formula One ever.
I've been working in motor racing magazines for more than 20 years, and it's the first time I've actually been involved in a magazine that's gone up in paper. It tends to go the other way in our business, so this is really refreshing for us. It's a sign of the commitment that we've got to print and to F1 Racing, which is a brand that's now more than 20 years old itself, and it's a sign of a great fresh start for the magazine.
Anthony, you've been with F1 Racing for a long time now. Your thoughts on this revamp?
It's very exciting. In a way, it's what the magazine deserves, because it's always been a quality title. It's aspired to quality, and the paper stock now really delivers on that. And obviously, we'll try and match that with the photography, which we've invested in as well. And we'll do our best with the words, which we always try to do, as you know, Peter, yourself, being a columnist. Yeah, it's great. It's lovely to have some money pumped into it, and it's a nice thing for quite a proud title to have a bit of love given back to it.
Lots going on in this issue. Just each of you pick one feature just to talk about it a little bit. Little pen portrait.
My little favourite one was the Ferrari feature. So we had to cover the Ferrari launch. We tried to do it in a slightly different way. We sent a journalist and a photographer, Lorenzo Belanca, who's rejoined the magazine as our sort of premier photographer. Sent them to Maranello, but rather than attend the launch, we sent them into the Tifosi to join the throng and look over the bridge over Fiorano as the car was making its first laps. And they really captured that moment when the Italian fans are still so passionate, and it goes back decades, and it's still exactly the same. And that's my favourite moment. Yeah.
Anthony?
Well, I'll talk about the cover story, if I may, which is Dan Ricciardo and Max Verstappen, who we've billed as this year's punchiest pair. And it's quite an exciting story to think about, because almost irrespective of the car performance, we absolutely know those two are going to be neck and neck, and whether they're fighting for first and second, third or fourth, fifth or sixth, they're going to be very closely matched on track.
Okay, who's going to win the Grand Prix, the World Championship? How is the season going to go? First of all, we'll get you two boys, and then we'll talk to some of our big stars behind us. Damien?
I hate to be predictable, but it's very hard to see beyond Mercedes at this point. I actually hope I'm wrong, because I want to see, like every fan, I think, see something fresh and something different. On Sunday, it'll be lovely to see a Ferrari win, maybe, or Ricciardo win his home race. That would also be pretty special. Just to throw something new into the mix. But I do think over the course of the season, it's hard to see past Lewis Hamilton.
I'd have to agree it's Lewis's to lose, but I think Ferrari's testing form is really impressive. If they can carry that through to this weekend, then obviously Seb is a driver, as we know, who's very capable of winning a world title. And I think the way the car's been handling, strong front end, good grip, good balance and traction, we might see a little bit of a Kimi resurgence. So don't be surprised to see Kimi winning a race this year. Damon Hill, 1996 world champion. Very simple question. Who's going to win the 2017 Formula One World Championship?
You're right, it's a simple question. I'm not sure there's a simple answer, because I think it's going to be an exciting year. I think it's going to be a very close fight. And I think the two protagonists will be Ferrari and Mercedes. So take your pick out of those four drivers that drive for those teams.
And I don't know if you're a betting man, but if you had to put your money on one of those four, who would you put your money on?
I'd have to say Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton. So a fourth title for Lewis.
But of course, you have to put into context the motivation. I mean, Sebastian Vettel, it could be 5 world championships. Lewis is now 3, wants to be 4. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because in terms of the big names in the sport, we could end up with parity, or we could end up with a big deficit. So who do you think is going to want to fight hardest for that world championship? It's a big world championship for those two guys.
So Dieter Renken, columnist for F1 Racing, paddock business reporting legend. Who do you think will win the 2017 Formula One World Championship?
Well, I'm going to stick my neck out and say it could be Sebastian Vettel. I had a chat today with Maurizio Rubini, and he's telling me that they are so focused on this year that he's not even doing any media work for the first 2 or 3 races. And if we have a look at some of their long-term, their long runs during testing, they were very, very impressive. And, you know, Sebastian's won championships. He knows how to win them. So I think it could be Sebastian.
Ferrari title.
Ferrari title with Sebastian, yeah, not Kimi.
Pat Symonds, recently retired as Formula 1 technical director, but a winner of multiple world championships. Who's going to win the 2017 Formula 1 world title?
Well, I think it's Lewis again. You know, the Mercedes looks good. Yes, it's going to be challenged, and I don't think they're going to have it all their own way, but Lewis has got the continuity. He's got a great car, fabulous driver. He's the one who'll do it.
Do you think Ferrari might be able to challenge this year?
Yeah, I do. You know, testing is very much a false dawn, and we can all make the mistakes of looking at who's quick in testing and who isn't, and drawing the wrong conclusions from it. And I must say, I've probably not looked in the detail I always used to. But nevertheless, I think we can see that Ferrari are able to mount a challenge. Now, a challenge is one thing, beating Mercedes is another. But I really hope we're going to see some good racing. I think they can do it. And I've got my fingers crossed for a really good season in front of us.
Zak, obviously you're in a difficult position to answer this question, but how do you think the championship's going to go in general this year?
I hope it's going to go well. I'm now talking as a Formula One fan and not having my McLaren hat on. I think it's going to be exciting. Anytime there are rule changes, there are some unknowns. The cars look great. You know, some of the drivers say they'll be good to race. Some of them say maybe not, but I think we'll find out on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, I'm really happy to say that hopefully Ferrari look like they're going to be quite competitive, and everybody loves it when Ferrari's competitive. Daniel, well, he keeps saying that his car's still not maybe have had the horsepower to get the job done, but whether he's just being Daniel or not, I don't really know. But I think it'll be the same old protagonist, with the exception I think Ferrari will probably be a more consistent front runner.
Mercedes-Benz are going to have something up their sleeve, but we would really like to see, I would love to see another team winning the World Championship, because I think last year Mercedes was so good that even 6 of the top drivers on the grid could have won the World Championship with that car. And of course we had seen that happen with Red Bull a few years before, with 4 World Championships being won by Vettel back to back. So therefore we don't want to see that.
Rachel Brooks, F1 TV commentator and presenter. Who is going to win the 2017 Formula 1 World Championship?
If he concentrates at every single race and is on his game, it'll be Lewis. If not, I like the Red Bull boys. I would like them to get in there amongst it. But I think Ferrari have got a decent car. I think it's going to be Lewis Hamilton. But if not, maybe Daniel Ricciardo.
Okay, so Dan Ricciardo to be world champion this year.
Wouldn't you like to see that happen?
Personally speaking, yes.
I would love to see it happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be my wish. Okay. Heart would say Daniel, head says Lewis.
Okay, very good. Simon Lazenby, Sky TV F1 presenter. Who is going to win the 2017 Formula 1 World Championship?
I am going to say, and it's nothing to do with I'm in Australia at the moment, but I think it's going to be Daniel Ricciardo. I spoke to him the other day. They think they've got the best chance in quite some time, and I just think he's got the temperament. He feels like the time is now, and he's full of confidence because he performed so well last year.